Well, one of my coworkers walked up to me today and gave me these bananas and said he wanted banana bread. I said, with or without nuts? He said, with nuts. So let's get to it. In this particular recipe, you do the dry ingredients and the wet ingredients separately. So let's get started with the dry ingredients. It's 2 cups of flour, all-purpose flour. Here's the second cup. Close enough. And we'll get the rest of it. It calls for 1 teaspoon baking soda, right there. And a 1/4 teaspoon salt, any sort of salt. I'm going to eyeball it with the teaspoon here, just a 1/4 teaspoon. Get that out. That's about a 1/4 teaspoon. All right, and I'm going to add something that was not in the original recipe, and that's 2 teaspoons of pumpkin spice. And of course my teaspoon is too big for the jar, so let me go grab another teaspoon that'll fit in there. So I found a 1/2 teaspoon, so I'm going to put 4 of these in, so we have 2 teaspoons of pumpkin spice. You can also put 2 teaspoons of cinnamon in. A lot of banana bread recipes I've noticed don't have any sort of cinnamon or anything in them, so I find it makes it kind of bland, so I like to add something. And pumpkin spice, it's just wonderful in banana bread. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and just mix this up really, really well. Get all the dry ingredients, the salt, the baking soda, pumpkin spice, and the flour just completely mixed up. I'm spewing flour all over the place, I see that, but so be it. All right, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to go ahead and start working on the wet ingredients. Now it calls at this point for, this is a separate bowl. This is our wet ingredient bowl, and it calls for 3/4 cup of brown sugar and a 1/2 cup of butter. My butter was frozen solid, so I threw it in the microwave and melted it. I'm going to pour it in right here and grab my mixer and cream this up. All right, all mixed. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of vanilla. Oops, maybe a little more. 2 beaten eggs. And the bananas. Let me go grab them. There they're all nice and soft. I'm going to put them in here and just mix them up with the beater until they're completely mixed up with the other liquid ingredients. There they are. Looks pretty well mixed up. So I'm going to add the dry ingredients now to this with a wooden spoon. There we go, just slowly adding it and mixing it. Just want to make sure there's no clumps of flour later on appear when you're biting into it. I hate that. It happens. But if you're careful and slow and your wet ingredients are well mixed and your dry ingredients are well mixed, less of an opportunity for that to happen. When I'm done with this, I'm going to put the walnuts in. Getting there. There it is, all mixed up and kind of nice and stiff. I'm going to go grab the walnuts and we'll put them in there. I have about a cup of walnuts, but since they're pretty big pieces, and I want to make mini muffins, I'm going to put these in a plastic bag and roll over them with a rolling pin once or twice to break them up. Here they are. I let the air out of this as much as I could, and I'm just going to roll the rolling pin over this to break it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be powdered, just smaller sizes. All right, that looks more manageable, and I'm going to throw it into our batter. Here we go, and just mix it up. Make sure there's a little bit of walnut and everything. I've also put chocolate chips in here. You can do pecans, whatever you like. Banana bread is a nice sort of background for a lot of different goodies. All right, well, I think I'm ready to start baking these. All right, so I'm good to go here. I'm going to do my usual mini muffin thing. I just think they're just the best for for making food for a lot of people. You know, everyone can take a small one. If they want more, they can take two, whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and spray these with a little spray oil. I've given up using paper cups for most things. I have found the ones at Dollar Tree have deteriorated to the point where they are actually, you have to spray them to get anything out. I had an old set from Dollar Tree, 100 for $1, and I compared it to a newer set I bought, and the newer set was about half as thin. I mean, you could see through it, and I thought, why do I have to put the paper in here and also spray it? So that was the end of that, and it seems to work out pretty well. This is a non-stick surface from Walmart, and if I spray it, everything comes out if I just am impatient with getting it out. All right, so I'm going to start putting these in here, and I'm not sure how many this is going to make, so I guess we'll find out at the end. I've preheated my oven to 350, and these shouldn't take too long in there because they're small, but I'll have to watch it because my oven doesn't heat evenly. The back is kind of warmer than the front. I think that's pretty typical. So I'll be back in a little bit and let you know how it all went. Well, here they are after 8 to 10 minutes in the oven, or until the knife comes out clean. As you can see, they look really good. I love the crispy edge, the dark crispy edge you get when you do not use the liner, the muffin or cupcake liner, so that worked out well. You can use whatever you want in these, chocolate chips or pecans. I just use the classic walnut. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and happy baking.